Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Zimbabwe is a failed state. The country is in serious economic and political trouble. It is really depressing how we have managed to reduce a country that had so much potential when we gained our independence in 1980 and made it the textbook case of failed state, the pariah state, forever blundering from pillar to post. The future is grim for many Zimbabweans, particularly those who are stuck in that country. Here is a very familiar face, Ruben Mbofana, speaking passionately on the subject.
Inini sekuona kwangu, our country needs a serious reset. Yeah, good factory reset pamafoni, yeah. Because what we are seeing now is very disturbing. We cannot have a country where makororo, thieves, criminals are the ones that are idolized, are the ones that are placed on the pedestal, are the ones that are actually welcomed in the highest offices on the land. Where does that take us as a country? Surely, how can our children now grow up idolizing Mbofana makororo kuti no, I want to be like that guy. That is my hero. When I are to meet venyika. No. We have to reset. We have to reset. Otherwise, we have corrupted our country as a whole. The very fabric of our society, of our country, is now corrupted. We need to respect hard work, honest hard work. We need to respect those people who are struggling to fend for their families, as hard as it is, but they are succeeding. Those are the people we need: inventors, innovators, people who are genuinely developing our country. Those are the people that need to be venerated. Those are the people that need to be honored. Not we have now taken our country at a very dangerous place, and anytime it might implode because of what we are doing. We cannot afford to honor, idolize, respect criminality.
I couldn't put it better myself. I mean, it is a tragedy that Zimbabwe has become such a failed state. Corruption has become the biggest cancer that is killing the country. A few months ago, I showed a video of the Al Jazeera documentary where the gold mafia gangsters were boasting of their connection with the president and other high-ranking government officials. In that video, one of the mafia gangsters was the self-proclaimed prophet, Ibet Angel. Mnangagwa had appointed him as an ambassador at large. And the guy was boasting about it and saying he can access the president any minute he wants. And this was not an empty post. He was able to give evidence to show that he has that direct access to the president. And the president himself was in the video praising Ibet Angel. In this video, Mbofana is showing he has got another corrupt individual with Notifier. The young man has earned a reputation of being so corrupt and so confident that he even boasts that he has got those in power and authority under his thumb. To some of us, Wicknell became known when he was awarded a contract to install a solar power substation for ZESA. He was paid $5 million US dollars for the project. And years later, when the parliamentary committee was set up to investigate what was going on, they visited the site. And what we can see in the picture there is what the parliamentary committee saw when they visited the site. This was all that they saw at the site that Wicknell had installed at that Gwanda solar panel project. He was paid $5 million US dollars. And up to date, as far as many people know, this is all you see at that site. And the young man at the time was shown boasting about his 350 designer shoes. And in some pictures, he'll be shown with a pile of money on his desk. He has been renowned for buying Porsche cars. Here is a video of him showing off some of his Porsche cars.
Good morning, members. South Africa has received the money, and they said that they want to start off with payments for the 1 million to Beta Brands, which is what we had signed the contract for. Then after the holiday, we've been able to engage them because we had agreed to top 7 days. Marisa zovanetsa money laundering aid kuti vaitenge as if vari kumhanya sere kuda kubudisa mari. So for Easter purposes ndaisa pressure kuti ashamati isire 1 million yedu at least timbotanga kumhanya. So as agreed, Scott totora 350, inini 150, Mike 150, Mpofu 150, then Mom's were to up 100, DG to up 100 to make a total of 1 million, and 150 by 4 is 600. Then Scott 200 yake to make 800. To work as even 30.
Well, what he was trying to explain there is a distribution of some of the money of another project. But what he was showing off there is his fleet of Porsche cars. So, no doubt, some of the 5 million that he was paid to build the Gwanda solar power project was used to buy Porsche cars. This is what has become of Zimbabwe. We have raised the corrupt and the looters to positions of power and authority. It doesn't make any sense at all. This individual is deprived the people of Rwanda the supply of electricity. The reason why they proposed a project there is because ZES was not able to supply power to that town to meet all their power requirements. And so having a solar generating power station project in the area would have boosted the availability of electricity to thousands of members in the area in Rwanda. They're still waiting for it. It never happened. In Zimbabwe, load shedding has become the norm. Even hospitals have been denied the supply of electricity. This is how serious the project, the situation in Zimbabwe has become. And yet, when we have got those criminals, we praise them, we let them go. Jivayo has been involved in so many other projects where he tenders through government. He's awarded the tender, but the service is never supplied or is overpriced. And he pockets the money. And then he uses some of that money to buy cars. He's renowned for giving posh cars to individuals as presents. And he is renowned for living a very luxurious lifestyle. And he's never arrested. And some of his corrupt friends even boast that if you have not won a tender from the government, what are you doing? As if to say everyone should go for these government tenders, where you do not have to deliver anything. You get the money, you spend it as you wish. The other tragedy with this situation is that Mnangagwa himself has used part of the looted wealth to bankroll his stay in power. It is widely believed that he spent as much as $5 billion for his re-election in 2023. And this week, he announced that the party should start preparing, ZANU-PF that is, should start preparing for the 2028 elections. And he got the ball rolling by giving ZANU-PF Central Committee members, all of them, new cars. Part of the fleet of the new cars is what we can see in the picture. ZANU-PF is loaded with looted money, making it very difficult for the opposition to have a meaningful challenge when it comes to elections. If ZANU-PF spent $5 billion, the opposition, there were 10 opposition candidates in the 2023 elections. And between those 10 parties, I think they would have achieved a lot if they managed to raise $5 million to fund their election campaign. This is compared to $5 billion that Mnangagwa raised for ZANU-PF. How can they compete? So we find ourselves in a situation where corruption now has become so rampant, and it is only helping those in positions of power and authority to stay in power and authority. And needless to say, those who are involved in the corruption, like people like Chifayo, are the ones who are helping to bankroll the whole thing.
Our country needs a serious reset. Yeah, good factory reset phone here. Yeah, because what we are seeing now is very.
Sorry about that. This is the reality. But the other thing I want to talk about before I finish is what Mbofana was referring to, a factory reset. If we want to be honest with ourselves, if we had a choice of resetting, we reset it to what year? 1980? Isn't the disaster of 1980 what led us to this? In other words, the same leadership who were there in 1980 are the ones who are responsible for getting us into this mess in the first place. Reset it to what? 1990? 2000? No one can honestly say this is the year when, yes, if we had continued, if we reset it that year, we may take a different route. There is no reset. And there is no particular point in our history when we can say we were doing well. Zimbabwe's problem is that we have failed to learn from the past. We have failed to learn from the mistakes of other people and of our own mistakes. And this is the reason why we are in this mess. We need to learn from our own mistakes. The root cause why Zimbabwe is a failed state is very simple. We have failed to hold free, fair, and credible elections. And so we have found ourselves stuck with this corrupt, incompetent, and tyrannical ZANU-PF dictatorship for 45 years and counting. It is shocking that in this day and age, so many people should not know what constitutes free, fair, and credible elections. It's not rocket science. We just need to put an effort into it. In 2023, the nation was warned that we should not participate in the elections without reforms. Because if you do, ZANU-PF will rig those elections. That's point number one. Number two, if you participate, you will give the process credibility. We've known this all along, and we've been warned several times, but we would not listen. We believed, or rather millions believed Nelson Chamisa when he told them that Triple C was going to win big because he had plugged the vote rigging loopholes. Of course, he was lying. And the tragedy is, even now, 2 years after the event, millions of people out there still do not want to accept that Chamisa lied to them. That is the tragedy of Zimbabwe. We never learn from our own mistakes. We blunder from pillar to post, repeating sometimes the same idiotic mistake over and over again. For Pete's sake, we need to stop and learn from the past. I agree with Mbofana's frustration. If we had a factory reset button, yes, we'll push it. But unfortunately, there is no such button. And so we have got to sit back and learn from our mistakes and decide what to do next. At the present moment, the only rational thing to do is to make sure that we do not make the same mistake that we made in 2023, 2018, and 2013, i.e., participate in an election process that we know is flawed, that we know that ZANU-PF is rigging, that we know that if we participate, we give the process legitimacy. And we have been participating because we believed idiotic lies from the opposition, telling us, yes, they will win flawed elections, rigged elections, when all they want is for us to participate so that ZANU-PF can give them a share of the spoils of power. We need to wise up. We need to stop putting those who are corrupt, incompetent, and sellouts and making them heroes. They are not heroes. They are our public enemy number one. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.